Imagine being told your unborn baby is the enemy simply because of who her father is. In North Korea today, 25 million people live under a system where newborns inherit their parents' political classification, a hereditary caste system that determines every aspect of their lives before they even take their first breath. Today, you'll hear from a mother who crossed a minefield at 8 months pregnant to give her daughters something we take for granted every single day: the right to exist without being labeled an enemy of the state. If these stories matter to you, please subscribe and hit the notification bell. Your support helps us bring these untold stories to light. Together we can be a voice for those who cannot speak. I can never forget that night. January 2024, military housing in Sinwiju. I was 7 months pregnant. My belly had grown so much. That night, I lay down next to my husband as usual. The baby kept kicking. I couldn't sleep. It must have been around 3 a.m. Bang! The door burst open. 5 agents from the Bawibu stormed in with guns. My whole body froze. "Captain Park Cholsu, you're under arrest." My husband was dragged out in his pajamas, cold handcuffs locked around his wrists. I tried to stand, clutching my pregnant belly. My legs gave out. I collapsed. "Honey! Honey!" I screamed, but he couldn't even look back. The 2 agents who stayed behind stared at me coldly. "You're coming too." "What did I do?" "You're an accomplice. You'll be questioned." They dragged me to the Bawibu, 7 months pregnant. The cold dawn air hit my skin. I wrapped my arms around my belly, protecting the baby inside. In the car, I couldn't stop shaking. The interrogation room, fluorescent lights blazed so bright I could barely open my eyes. "Your husband conspired with the enemy." He tried to escape. "You knew, didn't you?" "No, I didn't know anything." "That baby in your belly, it's the enemy's child, too. You know that, right?" My heart stopped. The baby kicked hard inside me, like she was saying, "Mom, I'm scared." I grabbed my belly and screamed, "This baby is innocent. She's done nothing wrong." The agent laughed and blew cigarette smoke in my face. "Innocent? Her background is tainted before she's even born." That night, everything I'd believed for 10 years crumbled. The system I'd been loyal to, the country I'd tried to protect, even the tiny life in my womb, they called her the enemy. Alone in the cold cell, I sat on the concrete floor. I stroked my belly and whispered, "Baby, I'm sorry. Mommy's so sorry." That's when I realized we couldn't survive here. If I wanted to protect this child, I had to get out somehow. That was my awakening. In that Bawibu cell, sleepless nights I kept thinking about the past. Just a year ago, we were happy. Spring 2023. I got the pregnancy confirmation at the military clinic in Sinwiju. I ran to my husband. I pulled him away from his post. "Honey, we're having a baby." He stared at me in disbelief. Then he lifted me up. "Really? Are you sure?" "Careful! The baby!" We laughed and hugged behind the barracks. Soldiers aren't supposed to laugh on duty, but that day we couldn't help it. He pressed his ear to my belly. "Baby, it's Daddy. Let's stay healthy, okay?" I was the happiest person in the world. Next leave, we visited my parents' house, a small home by the Yalu River, where I grew up. My father was a Korean War veteran. My mother worked in a textile factory her whole life. "Mom, Dad, I have good news." My mother took my hand. Tears welled in her eyes. "Finally, we're going to have a grandchild." My father smiled. "Have a son. Son or daughter doesn't matter, as long as the baby's healthy." My mother went to the kitchen and wrapped up dried seaweed for me. For after the birth, she'd bought it at the market for a lot of money. "You need to recover well. Our grandchild needs to be born healthy." That evening, my parents, my husband, and the baby inside. Our family sat down to eat together. We only had kimchi and soybean paste stew, but it was the warmest meal I'd ever had. My husband stroked my belly. "What should we name the baby, so she can live freely?" "How about Jiyeon? Yeon like in Lotus Pond." "Jiyeon. I like it. Park Jiyeon." My parents smiled. "That's a beautiful name." I didn't know then. That would be the last dinner our family shared. The laughter, my husband's warm touch, my parents' blessing, all of it the last time, sitting on that cold cell floor, Remembering tears came. Honey, I'm sorry. I'm putting Ji-yeon in danger. The baby kicked again. No, it wasn't just a kick. It felt like she was telling me something. Mom, don't give up. That's when I decided I would survive. I would protect Ji-yeon. I couldn't bring back those happy days, but at least this child she would live free. A week after my husband was taken, they questioned me every day. Sitting in a hard chair with a 7-month belly, it was torture. Ji-yeon kept moving inside. Anxious, maybe? Or hungry. That day, they dragged me to the interrogation room again. A Boebu agent sat at the desk, smoking. He threw a document in front of me. Read this. My hands trembled as I picked it up. A large red stamp. Execution confirmation. My husband's name. Park Chul-soo. Crime, espionage, and attempted escape. Execution date January 15th, 2024. What? What is this? He was executed yesterday. 5 a.m. Firing squad. A scream tore out of me. That's a lie! You're lying! I clutched the paper and wailed. Ji-yeon kicked wildly inside me, like she knew her father was gone. The agent laughed coldly and threw down a photo. Want proof? Look. The photo showed my husband after the execution. I felt like throwing up. I grabbed my belly and collapsed. Don't cry. You'll join him soon. My whole body went cold. 3 days later, they called me back. This time, the chief himself appeared. More documents on the desk. Park Sun-young post-birth disposition plan. He read aloud. First, Park Sun-young will be transferred to Hwasong Camp immediately after birth. My heart pounded. Second, the infant will be transferred to Pyongyang. Third orphanage on the day of birth. No! I dropped to my knees. My pregnant belly hit the floor, but I didn't care. Please, no! Not my baby! Third, the infant is classified as the offspring of an enemy spy and will be subject to Songbun management. Please, if I'm guilty, punish me. The baby's innocent. I held my belly and sobbed. Ji-yeon kept moving, like she could feel her mother crying. The chief pulled out a red pen, stamped the document. Thud! That sound still echoes in my ears. The sound of my baby's fate being sealed. 1 month left. Until your due date. Think hard. Back in the cell, I cried all night on that cold concrete floor, stroking my belly, whispering, Ji-yeon, I'm sorry. Mommy's so sorry. Then I remembered. Before my husband was executed, he'd sent a secret letter. A colleague smuggled it to me. A tiny note. I pulled it from its hiding place and read. Written in blood. Sun-young, please save my wife and child. My husband's last words. That night I made a decision. This couldn't go on. I had to protect Ji-yeon. I had to get out somehow. What my husband couldn't protect, I would. As a mother, that was the last thing I could do. 1 month until my due date. Every morning I woke up, my belly was bigger, proof that Ji-yeon was growing. But it wasn't joy, it was terror. The moment she was born, we'd be separated forever. In the cell, I read my husband's letter again. Sun-young, you and the baby must survive. The blood-written words were smudged from my fingerprints. I'd read it so many times. I pressed the letter to my chest and cried, Honey, what do I do? How can I do this alone? But I couldn't just cry. Time kept moving. That night, I decided I would escape. 10 years working Border Patrol, I recalled everything I'd learned. DMZ fence locations, minefield layouts, guard rotation times. It was all in my head. The most dangerous, but the fastest route. Going to China took too long. Finding a broker, getting money, crossing the border impossible. Before my due date, the DMZ was different. If I succeeded, just a few hours. Of course, if I failed, I'd die. The next day, a colleague secretly visited. Sergeant Kim, we'd served together for 10 years. He looked around, then handed me a small note. Next Thursday, 2 a.m. I'm on night duty. I'll look away for 5 minutes. Thank you. Thank you so much. You have to survive. For the baby. He looked at my belly, eyes reddening. He was a father, too. D-Day was set. 1 week. During that week, I ran simulations in my head countless times. Which fence section was widest? Where to avoid the mines? Where to hide if flares went up? Could I do this 8 months pregnant? I didn't know. But I had to try. The night before escape, I snuck out. First, to my parents' house. The small home by the Yalu River. The lights were off. They were asleep. I stood at the door, looking at the house. I wanted to go in, call them one more time. Mom, Dad. But I couldn't. If I went in, I wouldn't be able to leave. Mom, Dad. Stay healthy. I'll protect your grandchild and show her to you someday. I said goodbye in my heart and turned away. Next, I went to my husband's grave, a corner of the common cemetery, barely marked. I knelt down. My belly was too big to bow properly. Honey, I'm here. Tears streamed down. I'm taking Ji-yeon with me. What you couldn't protect, I will. The wind blew, like he was answering, I'm sorry, leaving you buried here. But I have to save Ji-yeon. I touched the soil with my hand, remembered his last moments. Next life, let's meet again. Then all three of us will be happy. As I tried to stand, Ji-yeon kicked, like she was saying goodbye to her father. That's right, Ji-yeon. Say goodbye to Daddy. We'll be okay? Walking back, the stars were unusually bright. Beyond those stars, a free world existed. Tomorrow dawn, I would go to that world. Whether I'd make it alive, I didn't know. But I couldn't give up. For Ji-yeon, I could risk my life. March 15, 2024, 2 a.m. I crouched in the darkness, holding my breath. 8 months pregnant. My belly was so big I could barely breathe. Sergeant Kim flashed his small flashlight twice. The signal, 5 minutes. No patrol for 5 minutes. Ji-yeon, trust Mommy. We'll survive. I stroked my belly once and stood. My legs trembled. I crawled to the first fence. Actually, dragged my belly describes it better. I felt how hard it was to move while pregnant. I pushed my body through the fence. My belly got caught. The wire tore my clothes and scratched my skin, but I held back the scream. Ji-yeon kicked. Was she scared too? Baby, just a little longer. Hang on. I got through the second fence. Now the minefield. I recalled the mine positions I'd memorized for 10 years. 3 steps right, 2 steps left. I crawled on all fours, moving carefully. Worried my belly might touch the ground. What if my belly triggered a mine? The thought made cold sweat pour down. Then bang! A flare shot into the sky. The night lit up bright as day. Stop right there! North Korean patrol. I'd been caught. Rat-tat-tat-tat! Gunfire erupted. My ears rang. Instinct made me curl around my belly and drop to the ground. Please, please! Bullets flew over my head. Dirt sprayed my face. Ji-yeon, I'm sorry. Mommy's sorry. But I couldn't give up. Not here. I tried to stand. My legs had no strength. I grabbed my belly and crawled. Blood on my hands. Cuts from the wire. But I couldn't feel pain. Just a little more. A little more. Then I heard another voice ahead. Who's there? Don't move. South Korean military. Korean language. I threw both hands up. My belly was too big to raise them properly. I'm from North Korea. Save me, please. I screamed through sobs. I'm pregnant. My baby, please save my baby. South Korean soldiers ran toward me. Flashlights lit my face. North Korean woman. Pregnant. Get her quick. They're shooting. Someone grabbed my arm. I crawled with the last of my strength, clutching my belly. Almost there! Just a little more. Then intense pain hit my belly. Ji-yeon was kicking frantically. Baby. I tumbled into the South Korean trench. I couldn't catch my breath. Are you okay? Are you hurt? A soldier asked. I touched my belly first. The baby is my baby, okay? Hold on. Medic! Medic, now! My vision started blurring. I must have been exhausted. Baby! We made it. Those were the last words I remember. I lost consciousness. When I opened my eyes, I saw a white ceiling. Where am I? You're awake? It's okay. You're safe here. A young soldier sat beside me. White coat must be a medic. I quickly touched my belly. The baby is my baby, okay? Hold on, let me check. The medic pulled out a stethoscope and placed it on my belly. A few seconds passed. Those seconds felt like a lifetime. Baby's heartbeat sounds strong. She's healthy. Tears burst out. Really? She's really okay? Yes, don't worry. Heartbeat's normal. I stroked my belly and sobbed. Ji-yeon, we made it. We really made it. The medic handed me a cup of water. My hands shook too much to hold it. He held my hand and brought the cup to my lips. Drink slowly. The water went down my throat. The sweetest water I'd ever tasted. Is this really South Korea? Yes. This is the Frontline GOP medical station. You're safe now. Safe. That word felt so warm. Thank you. Thank you so much. A while later, the company commander came in. You had quite a scare. Thank goodness you're safe. Will I be suspected of being a spy? Honestly, that's what scared me most. What if they kicked me out? No. How could we suspect a pregnant woman? Right now, your health comes first. The commander smiled. A genuine smile. Not fake. Soon a helicopter will take you to a hospital. You'll get proper care there. About an hour later, I heard helicopter sounds. Okay, let's move. Careful. Soldiers gently moved me onto a stretcher. My belly made moving hard, but they were so careful. I boarded the helicopter. First time ever. Scared. We'll be there soon. A nurse on board held my hand. Warm hands. The helicopter lifted off. Through the window, I saw the night view. Lights sparkled everywhere. Is that all South Korea? Yes. That's downtown Paju. Beyond that is Seoul. I didn't know there were so many lights. In North Korea, everything was pitch black at night. A free world. The helicopter reached the hospital quickly. Doctors and nurses waited at the emergency entrance. 8-month pregnant patient arriving. Yes, this way. I was moved to a hospital bed. So clean. White sheets. Warm blankets. Even the disinfectant smell was good. They did an ultrasound. Ji-yeon's face appeared on the monitor. Baby. Ji-yeon? Tiny nose. Tiny mouth. Sucking her thumb. She's healthy. Weight's normal, too. You both held up well. The doctor smiled. About a month until birth. Rest here and prepare. Nurses brought clean hospital clothes. Let me wash with warm water. Brought me food. White rice and seaweed soup. With meat. My hands shook. I couldn't hold the spoon properly. Eat slowly. You've been through so much. The nurse held my hand. Thank you. Thank you so much. That night, I slept in a hospital bed, under warm blankets, stroking my belly. Ji-yeon, this is South Korea. Where we'll live. For the first time in my life, I slept peacefully. I spent a month in the hospital. Daily checkups. The doctors were so kind. Nurses touched my belly, smiling. You'll have a beautiful baby. Then April 15th, 2024, 2 a.m., labor started. Nurse! Contractions squeezed my belly. I'd never felt pain like this. Labor started. To the delivery room. Nurses rushed over. They put me in a wheelchair and rushed to delivery. You're okay. You're doing great. A nurse gripped my hand tight. I lay in the delivery room. The doctor and 3 nurses stood by. Deep breaths. Slowly. But breathing was so hard. With each contraction, my whole body tensed. Ah! Screams came out on their own. You're doing great. Keep going. How much time passed? 10 hours? 12? I don't remember. Just constant pain. Honey, honey. Between contractions, I thought of my husband. If he were here, he'd hold my hand. Sorry I'm giving birth alone. Sorry, Ji-yeon, that Daddy's not here. Tears flowed. Don't cry. You're doing great. We're right here with you. The nurse wiped my tears. Around 2 p.m., the doctor said, Okay, push now. I can see the baby's head. I pushed with everything I had. My husband's face flashed before me. My parents' faces, too. Almost there. Just a little more. Ah! Then, wah, wah! A baby's cry. She's out. It's a girl. A healthy baby girl. We made it. Ji-yeon made it. All my strength left my body. But I was happy. So happy. Hold on. Let me clean her. A moment later, the nurse brought the baby. Wrapped in a white blanket. A tiny baby. Here's Mommy. They placed Ji-yeon on my chest. So warm. Impossibly warm. Ji-yeon. Mommy? Ji-yeon? Her eyes were closed. Her fingers were so tiny. I counted all 10. 10 toes, too. 3.1 kilograms. Healthy. The doctor smiled. Honey, it's our daughter. She looks like you. Ji-yeon's eyes resembled my husband's. Her nose, too. Then Ji-yeon opened her eyes. Dark pupils looked at me. Baby, it's Mommy. Nice to meet you. I touched my finger to Ji-yeon's hand. Her tiny hand gripped my finger tight. Strong grip, sign of a healthy baby. The nurses clapped. Congratulations, you did so well. I held Ji-yeon close. This tiny life. The life I'd risked everything to protect. Ji-yeon. Ji for freedom. Yeon for lotus. So you can live free. Mommy gave you that name? Ji-yeon's mouth moved slightly, like she was smiling. Honey, I protected Ji-yeon. What you asked me to protect, I did. Tears kept falling. I turned my head so they wouldn't drop on Ji-yeon's face. Thank you. Thank you so much. I kept thanking the medical staff. That night, I fell asleep in my hospital room holding Ji-yeon. I could hear her tiny breaths. Ji-yeon, this is our new beginning. With this child, I felt like I could do anything. Now it's November 2024, 7 months since Ji-yeon was born. I finished Hanawan training. We live in a small studio, a small neighborhood outside Seoul. 1 room, 1 kitchen. Small, but enough for us two. Ji-yeon's already 7 months old. She rolls over. Does tummy time. Yesterday, I think she said, Mama. Hearing that, I cried. Ji-yeon, say it again. Mama, Mama. This is freedom. I feel it every day. When I go to the mart to buy diapers. Back home, getting 1 diaper at the market was torture. Here, they're stacked like mountains at the mart. I can just buy them. At the pediatrician, too. Vaccinations are free. In the north, getting 1 pill was like plucking stars from the sky. Sunyoung, Ji-yeon's healthy. Growing well. Every time the doctor says that I'm grateful. At night, I can leave the lights on. In the north, lights brought the boebu immediately. Here, I can leave them on all night. No one says anything. I can search parenting info online. I joined a mom's cafe. Other moms teach me how to make baby food, how to put babies to sleep. A neighbor gave me baby clothes. You came from the north? Must have been hard. These are my child's old clothes. Take them. That warm comment, I cried again. But there's so much I miss. My parents in the north. I want to show them Ji-yeon's face. How happy Grandpa and Grandma would be to see their grandchild. My husband, too. Ji-yeon looks like him. It hurts every time I see her. I don't even have 1 photo. That makes it sadder. Ji-yeon about Daddy. He went to heaven to protect you. When you're older, I'll tell you lots about Daddy. Ji-yeon smiles like she understands. Sometimes I wonder, what if reunification happens someday? I'll hold Ji-yeon's hand and go north, meet my parents, visit my husband's grave. Honey, this is our daughter. She grew up well, didn't she? I hope that day comes. I hope reunification happens while I'm still alive. I want to tell all the mothers in North Korea. Our children have the right to grow up free. The right to live without hunger, without fear. If only there wasn't division, none of this would have happened. We're the same people. Why must we live like this? But I won't give up. I'll raise Ji-yeon well. Someday, I'll show her a reunified Korea. Ji-yeon, Mommy will protect you, so you can live free. Today, Ji-yeon fell asleep in my arms again. I can hear her tiny breaths. This is true freedom. I feel it every night. I'm so grateful for this ordinary life.